All right, guys, this is part one of what you need to know, okay? And this is very, very important. I don't want you to skip through anything. Please watch this video. Part one, what you need to know. So I've written down four very, 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 very important things. I'm going to go one by one, okay? Starting with the first one. Bureaus, creditors, and collection agencies are not there to help you. All right, and we're going to get into, just maybe two or three down here. I can't read behind me what business the bureaus are in, but you have to understand that the creditors, collection agencies, and bureau, all of them, all three of them, right? They're not there to help you. They are there to make money. Okay, that's all that this is about. That's obvious, right? But a lot of people think, oh, well, I'm going to write my dispute letter and they're going to remove it because that's what they're supposed to do. And there's the FCRA and the FCB and the FDCBA. No, dude, they're not there to help you, okay? Only you are there to help you. Only I am there to help you. Only, the credit groups and people that actually give content that's going to do something and to get you results are there to help you, okay? So just because there are laws doesn't mean that people follow it. That's why there are lawsuits. That's why there are police, because there's people that break the laws. So just because it says 25 miles an hour doesn't mean that sometimes you do 35. Just because it says don't walk here, use a crosswalk, doesn't mean that you don't jaywalk, okay? I know that, here where I live, there's like no cops. There's also like not a lot of crime. But the whole entire point is that there's like a crap load of people that I can even hear right now out on the street that are driving really, really fast, and there's a school right there, okay? So that just goes to show you that, especially if you've ever gotten a speeding ticket before or you've gotten arrested for something, people don't follow the rules. So it doesn't matter that they're there to govern them, okay? So keep that in mind when you are creating your disputes and when you are fighting them. Now, I do want to add one additional thing on here that just popped into my head, okay? You have to also understand that all three bureaus, major bureaus, are separate entities. Not only are they separate entities, they are competitors. So when you are disputing and you're saying, oh, well, you need to remove it because they removed it, and they don't care, dude. They are in competition with each other, all right? Three different entities. And that's another thing that you need to understand, that just because something is removed from one bureau or two bureaus doesn't mean it's going to be removed from the third or the second or the third, all right? Everything is disputed individually. If it's reported on three bureaus, you're sending three letters. If it's reported on two bureaus, you're sending two letters, okay? If it comes off of one bureau, you still have to go after the other two if it's reported on all three, okay? By simple mathematical equation, okay? Listen and pay attention and use logic, all right? All right, so the second thing, the business of a credit bureau. This is very, very important because a lot of people don't understand this. The business of the credit bureau is not about credit. It's not even about credit, dude. It's about obtaining and maintaining and selling information. What? They maintain these huge databases, right? They collect all this information from all these creditors and all this, all these promotions and all this stuff, and they put it in these huge databases where they are going to maintain it after they obtain it, and they're going to sell it. So, company A, such as, Capital One, and company B, such as Credit One, they need that information so that they can go out and send you pre-approved offers and all that kind of stuff, right? They're going to market to these people. So they're actually purchasing lists of people and they're going to now market to them, all right? So that is their business, obtaining, maintaining, and selling information. So that brings us to the next thing. All right, but let me just pause there real quick. Does that make sense? That they're not in the credit business? They're in the data business. Okay? When I took my 5th, 6th, 7th credit course, directly one-on-one with like my mentor, I guess you can say, that was a big one for me. I'm like, what? If I'm doing credit repair and they're a credit bureau, then how are they not in the credit business? No, dude, they're in the data business, okay? They are in the data business. Where do you think they get all this information from? Moving on. All right, so they have a huge conflict of interest, right? Conflict of interest. Why do they have a conflict of interest? Well, if you look right here, this is going to make sense. Bad credit is more valuable. Why is bad credit more valuable? Well, it's more expensive, right? So if you have bad credit and you go out and try to get a vehicle, your APR is going to be through the roof, 26%, whatever your state maximum is. But if you have better or good or excellent credit, now you might be looking at a 2% APR or a max 10% APR, and that's actually really high. So that means that they make less money off of you, right? Less money off of you because you have better credit than someone that has poor or bad or terrible credit. Now, maybe we're not talking about someone with a 380 because that's just not someone that you would like to give credit to, right? But maybe we're talking about someone with a 600 or a 580, because if you want a mortgage, you have to have at least a 580. That means that a 580 is going to have the highest APR, okay? Now, pausing there, you can get a mortgage with a lower credit score, but that's for a different day, okay? So why is there a conflict of interest? Well, there's a conflict of interest because they are obtaining, maintaining, and selling your information, and their job is to make sure that you have inaccurate credit with all these negatives on there so that they can make the most money off of you. So how are they helping you? They're not helping you, okay? They are in the data business, and the data business gets them money, okay? So the worse that your credit is, or the less whatever that your credit is, the more money they make. So their job is to keep you that way. It's not to remove your negative items. It's not to remove your inaccuracies. It's not to remove your late payments, your collections, your charge-offs, your foreclosures, your bankruptcies. It's to make the most money off of you, and to make the most money off of you, they keep your credit inaccurate with your negatives. All right, so that's another one. Okay, so please, I need you to sit on that one and really process that, because it's going to change the way that you write your letters. It's going to change the way that you interact with the bureaus. It's going to change the way that you work on your client's credit file if you are part of a business. It's going to change everything for you, okay? So please think about that, all right? Now, the last one, and I can't tell you how many times I have to go over this every single week. Your credit report is just the reporting of your credit. Let me say that into my mic. Your credit report is just the reporting of your credit. It's not the actual account itself. Now, when I say that, it might be like, oh yeah, no, I knew that. So then why do I get calls and emails and texts and live chats and contact requests and YouTube comments and Facebook messages about, hey, if I remove this account, that means I don't have to pay for it, right? What? 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 Why would removing an account mean that you don't have to pay for it? How? What? What? And yes, I'm stuck on this because it's absolutely just mind-boggling where people get this stuff from. And if you are one of them, I'm sorry if I'm making you feel any sort of way, but if you know anything about me, I'm very blunt, okay? And this is very, very mind-boggling. Okay, so I have two examples, all right? You go to the bank and you have a balance of $1,000. No, you know what? Let's make this simple. You have a balance of $100, okay? So just because you take $100 out of your bank, does it mean that the $100 doesn't exist anymore? No. It just means that it is no longer reported in the balance in the bank. So you went from a $100 balance to a zero balance because you took that $100 and you took it out of the bank. Does that $100 still exist? Yes, it's right here, right? Because you went to the ATM or the teller and you took it out, whether you drove through or you went inside and you went through, you took the money out, and now your $100 is right here versus being in the bank. So the $100 exists, just not in the bank anymore. So the thing is the same thing. The thing is the same thing. The credit is the same thing, right? So what can I do to make you understand this better? Because this is also something that changes the way that you dispute. All right. So let's say that you have a business and you report your website on Google. Now, just because you one day remove it from Google and remove it from the search engines, does that mean that your business no longer exists? No. It just means that it's no longer reported on Google. All right? So it's the same way. Now, it's best understood using the bank description, but whatever. Okay, so those were the 4 most important things. Now, as far as the 4th one, your credit report is just the reporting. What that means is that if you have a collection, and this is just an example, if you have a collection and you remove that collection from your credit report, that collection still exists. It's just not reported on your report. So that means that if it's within the statute of limitations and if it's actually verifiable, they can take you to court and sue you for it, even if it's no longer on your credit report. Okay? So I do hope that you understand that now. And once again, you may want to write it down on your flashcards. Maybe you don't, that's completely up to you, but it was sitting right in front of me below my camera, and so therefore I picked it up. All right, so that is part 1 on the things that you need to know. Now, I just want to throw one thing in here, even though it might belong somewhere else. There are 2 things that I do not recommend disputing. Listen very closely. There are 2 things that I recommend that you do not dispute. Number 1, foreclosures in process. It literally says foreclosure started. Okay? You will not be able to remove it from your credit report or your client's report, and you can kind of get in trouble for it. Number 2, child support. Child support. Child support. Child support. Now, can you dispute child support? Yes. But guess what? You are going to waste your time. You're going to waste your money. You're going to waste your life disputing something that more than likely is not going to come off. You have like a 10% or less probability of getting it removed, okay? So why are you going to take months, 6 months, 12 months, 24 months in an attempt to remove it? It's going to be a waste of time because I can't tell you how many times that I have, prior to now, disputed it, and I had hordes of documentation proving that my client was never late. My client didn't owe $104,000 and actually only owed $104,000. My client paid on time for 24 months straight, and here's all of the pay stubs that show that it automatically came out every week. It didn't matter. It didn't matter what I did or who I talked to or who I disputed with or how it was disputed or what proof I had. Okay, so, and this is for every single client that I've ever disputed child support with. Okay, so do not waste your time. Do not waste your money. Do not waste your client's time and your client's money and your precious time disputing stuff that is not going to come off. All right. So you can actually just leave it alone. All right. Leave it alone. Overshadow it with positive credit or, other trade lines or whatever, and move on with your life, or have your client move on with their life. Okay. So those are the 2 things that you do not want to dispute. All right, so that is the end of part 1 of what you need to know. If you have questions about it, please make sure to put it down in the comments. This should have a comment section, but please make sure to put it down in the comments. And if you have done the power course one-on-one with me and you've paid for that, you can go to the forum and post there and you will get a guaranteed answer. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, when you purchase this course, there was an upsell, all right, an upsell to have one-on-one time with me, okay, by going to the forum and getting guaranteed responses. Because of course I'm busy, time is money, and so is my expertise, and that means that I'm going to charge for it. So if you did not purchase it when you signed up for the course, the pricing is no longer $197. It is actually $349, I believe. So if you were interested in that, if you believe that you are going to have questions, or you already have questions and you definitely want a detailed explanation or response or whatever it is, shoot me a message or put it down in the comments and I will make sure to respond. If not, I will see you on the next video for part number 2 of what you need to know. All right, guys.